Okay, this is part 2 of things that men should do during a divorce, right? We're talking about things that men should do, and if you missed the first 5 things, go back to my previous video. Here are the final 5 things that I recommend you do during a divorce. Get the support of good professionals, and this harkens back to my previous video and basically my overarching piece of advice to anyone who is going through a divorce, and that is, don't go through a divorce alone. Get support. Get support emotionally and financially and legally and mentally. And don't make decisions out of fear and anger, okay? If you are supported adequately by qualified professionals, you're going to be less likely to do that. Second thing, don't take your case to court. That should be the last option. Do not make the mistake of thinking that it's a great idea to take your case to court. No one leaves a courtroom feeling like they've won. They've won in a divorce. You do not want to leave the financial and the parental decisions to a judge who doesn't know you or your family. You are taking a huge risk if you do that. Mediating a settlement and a parenting plan outside of court is the best way to reach agreements that will work best for all parties involved, especially your children. Doesn't mean you can't have an attorney when you're doing that. 3, find ways of managing your hot buttons and treat your spouse with respect, even if you don't feel it. Okay? Again, when you are super angry or super scared, you are not going to be making regulated decisions and you're not going to be communicating very well. And this can really screw up the divorce process. So find someone or something that can help you stay regulated. Because if you're able to stay in your wise mind, right, you're better able to reach an outcome that is sustainable and livable. 4, stay involved in your children's lives, okay? It's inevitable that when parents get divorced, it's going to impact your children's lives, obviously, right? And if you're a man, if you've traditionally been the breadwinner and you have a regular work week, your parenting time is going to look and be different. It's going to be different than mom's. Moving into a different house is going to impact all of this again. But do not allow these changes in your life to impact your time with your kids, however that looks. Even if you agree on a less than 50-50 split, which makes sense for many families, make sure that you are taking advantage of all of your parenting time and then some. That's important. And finally, number 5, be realistic. Okay, there are guidelines and frameworks for divorce in each state, and these are set in place so that there are reasonable expectations and outcomes for each divorcing couple. And the fact of the matter is that you can agree on a settlement without having to go to court. Or with going to court, the chances that your outcome are that your outcome will not be wildly different if you opt to go to court. Okay, I hope that made sense. And this is not to say that some parties absolutely do need to go to court, because a lot of times you really do. But don't expect in general to have your big day in court like you see in TV shows and movies where someone winds up vindicated and gets their big speech and everything they hoped for. It is usually not that exciting, and it usually doesn't result in some massive win. Divorce is going to suck either way, right? But by getting the right kind of support, it will suck less. And it will also help you move through the process and get to the other side so that you can start rebuilding your life and making things better than before. And you might not see that in the moment, but it is really possible, okay? That's it for now. All right. Bye-bye.